Joystick Show.
How's it, everyone? We are the Joystick Show. Your three favorite friends from Hawaii are back to talk story about the latest things we've read, watched, or played. We'll share our shtick with you, so thanks for sticking around. If you fancy what you hear, please like and subscribe on the platform you frequent because, it'd really help us out. We'd really appreciate it. I'm your co-host, Drake. That's Thomas.
What up, what up? We are back. Actually back.
Nice, and that's Scott.
How's it?
Ooh, both of you guys are back from your trips, so let me give you a little bit of a rundown of what we're going to be talking about today. We've got the Fantastic Four casting. We're going to talk a little bit about how Barbie already hit $1 billion and that double B's. The Continental trailer just dropped, so you'll get to hear what we think about that. And in our review section today, we're going to get into some Oppenheimer, some Haunted Mansion, and some latest in the TMNT Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But first, let's talk about, I want to say, your 5-star experiences with your airlines on your trips.
Oh, my God. I'm assuming Scott's trip
Not
was
as
better
bad
than
as
mine.
Tom's, yeah. I'm just like a taller person that, stuck in like coach. So it's just uncomfortable. Going, couldn't recline my seat.
Wow, that sounds terrible.
Bro,
oh, jeez. I
gotta get it in
so
before
sad
Thomas
for
goes.
you.
Really let it sink in and get uncomfortable for a second. Yeah, and then layover for an hour, but then it got pushed to 2. Okay, and then
wow, that's more than 1 hour.
I was going,
rough.
and then coming back. No, it was a layover, but it was on time. And then the seat going to Hawaii, I was up against the window like this, like Mr. Incredible in his small car. But I was watching From that show From season 2, and it got me through it. Yeah, so pretty tough.
All I can say is I am never flying American Airlines. Ever.
Oh.
I would rather spend $500 more on another flight than fly American Airlines, because this past weekend I lived in an airport. It was so damn bad. Man, it was crazy.
You're like Tom Hanks?
Yeah, pretty much.
Please.
What was that movie? Yeah, what is it? The Terminal?
The Terminal.
Yeah. Oh my God. It almost was that point. It was crazy. I mean, so many delays, so many cancellations. To get there, it took 36 hours delay. I had to stay overnight in Philly. They didn't give us a complimentary hotel or transportation or anything. Got there at midnight, went to sleep at 1, had to wake up at 5 to get back for another flight. And when I got there, they still lost my bag. So thank you, American. Appreciate it.
Yeah. If you could fly Singaporean, I've never had a bad experience on Singapore Airlines. I've only ever had 2 meals and lots of snacks. So
where do they fly? Everywhere?
Singapore?
Singapore?
I have no
In
clue.
state?
Yeah, where?
Pretty sure
Is
they're
it just
international.
it sounds like
I'm pretty sure it's just international. But
I was like, sure,
but,
yeah. I would rather take Singapore Airlines, fly to Singapore, and then fly to wherever I'm going next than take American Airlines again.
I mean, you would have had 4 straight meals, just snacks. Snacks on snacks.
Sounds better.
Yeah, it's Singapore, dude. Unlimited movies.
Unfortunately, some people are not doing better, and it's the people on Maui. Thoughts and prayers for them. I think you guys probably know a little bit more information, but we'll add what we can in the show notes to kind of donate and support. Again, thoughts and prayers to all the families, all the ohana out there that's dealing with this right now. It looks absolutely brutal. It hasn't directly affected my family, but in terms of work and business, it has. So we're already seeing some crazy stuff. And if there's anybody who's badly burned out there, definitely, if you and when you get through this, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you. This is Thomas. Definitely reach out. But yeah, anything you guys want to add to that?
Nope. Thoughts and prayers, man. That's all we can do right now. And click the links for donations if you are able to. But yeah.
Right on. All right, so we're going to bring it back around and talk about something that was catching the internet on fire. That's not a good joke.
Damn, too soon, dude.
Frick, I didn't even mean... I was thinking...
Thoughts and Maui, guys.
God dang it. I was actually thinking of the Human Torch. I wasn't thinking of Maui. I'm sorry. But Human Torch, we got some rumored casting, and we got probably some confirmed casting for Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, with the girl from Mission Impossible. I want to say Vanessa Kirby. What is this, Scott?
It is Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah. So it looks like Vanessa Kirby is playing Invisible Woman. And what is the guy from Stranger Things?
Joseph Quinn.
Joseph Quinn, yeah. Who played Eddie from Stranger Things. It was awesome. How do we feel about this casting? I know that there's some other rumors. Matt Smith potentially being Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach as potentially Silver Surfer or The Thing. What do you guys think about any of this casting?
I really enjoyed Joseph Quinn in Stranger Things. I think that's all I'm really familiar with in his regard, but I really enjoyed his portrayal in that character. It was a character I didn't think I'd really care about as much as the main cast, and it for whatever reason, every time he popped on screen, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy. So if he's a part of it, that'd be great. I'd love to see more of this dude. I'm not as familiar with Vanessa Kirby though.
Yeah, do you think he has the right look? Do you think he has Johnny Storm is always the super good looking, kind of cocky, he was originally played in TV, or I guess in the movies, by Chris Evans. And do you think Joseph Quinn has that look?
I think what he could do is bring. It seems like he just based on his role he did in Stranger Things, and then interviews you see him outside. He's nowhere near that dude in Stranger Things, but I totally believe he was that guy. He kind of seems like a chameleon type of actor. I could totally see him just embodying whatever sort of charm or whatever he needs to put on that's going to add that extra attractiveness that he may need to have for that sort of role. But
I agree. I like that take. I think the same thing. What about you, Drake?
I was gonna make a funny joke about Vanessa Kirby. We talked about how she's gonna play the Invisible Woman, and that's true because we don't know what else she's from. Hey-o.
Yeah, I have seen her in one other thing.
She's been in things.
She has. Yeah, I don't know if you guys had her IMDb pulled up, but she was in Mission Impossible. Yeah, definitely has the right look. I'll say that. She's beautiful. She seems like a natural blonde. She also has this very commanding presence. And if you go back to the comics, Sue Storm actually has better stories than what we got with Jessica Alba, I want to say, which I love Jessica Alba for obvious reasons, but I never was a fan of her as Sue Storm. I think this girl already has an edge on what we saw out of Jessica Alba.
Yeah. She was in The Crown. I haven't watched that show, but I know people will really love it. Because that's what you said, Drake, right? She was in The Crown? Yeah. So just making that show, I feel like you got to be good. And then I'm sure she did great in Mission Impossible. That's a pretty... pretty...
The way I feel about the cast overall is I kind of need to see them be together, and I need to see how their dynamic works. I think with the other Fantastic Fours, it kind of worked okay because they were all kind of larger stars for the time, so it kind of seemed like a big team up movie. But this is what seems like it's going to be a lot more story driven and show me driven based on the fact of who they casted. They're not necessarily archetypes of the things we would normally see in this high budget of a movie, if that makes sense historically.
I was really trying to follow you. I'm not quite sure what you mean, but
they're so just less known, right?
Yeah, they're less known. It's not like it's Chris Evans and Jessica Alba and other big name. It's three actors that have done certain things and are known for certain things.
Yeah,
but not necessarily for being Ryan Reynolds or
not based on the name alone. I agree.
Yeah.
I actually Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I actually like that because I would rather them get bigger actors. Like the Fantastic Four, I think is a big enough superhero team that people will go see it if they want to check that out. And if you just have insane actors along with it, I think we're going to be gold. Especially if you get a Matt Smith. I think Matt Smith has now become a household name from, what was he in originally, like Doctor Who or something?
Yeah, that's in Game of Thrones and all that jazz.
Yeah, and then now Game of Thrones, and then he was in Morbius and had like one of the most iconic parts of it, which I never finished that movie. I'm not gonna lie, I tried several times. I wanted to get to the dancing part. That movie sucked.
Wow.
Maybe don't mention Morbius for Matt Smith.
Right.
He's a good actor, but
Matt Smith is a great actor. So I mean,
that was a good example though of like having a good actor, but if the story and the dialogue is crap, then it could make them look like crap. So I'm really hoping the story in this is really strong, because if it's a really strong story, then it gives like more meat for these actors to work with and like really get into.
Yeah. The story has to be strong because of their casting is a lot more artistic than it is like for entertainment value, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last one, Cousin. Again, I don't know him. I don't know how he'll do as Silver Surfer. Based on the way he talks and everything, I could see him doing a really good The Thing. You know, he kind of has that, like, he's not, it sounds more Chicago to me than it sounds New York, but, you know, I think he's Jewish, which is a big part of The Thing's origin story. And so, yeah, man, I've loved him in everything.
Do you want to see a Silver Surfer, considering our last Silver Surfer was very CG-esque?
I do. And I think it connects to the Galactus of it all and eventually Fantastic Four fighting them. But I think I'd rather see Cousin, especially if you watch this last season of The Bear. I would rather see him as the Thing than Silver Surfer. But I mean...
Do you think they'll practical effect Silver Surfer? Like actually have like a silver person? They're going to CG that guy out.
It's going to be like a Muppet, I think. Jim Henson style.
Let's go. Get in there, Jim Henson.
Yeah, it's going to be stop motion. But
that'd be sick.
I think I could, I could see him being an awesome thing. So awesome stuff. I really hope most of this is true. I liked all of it. If those all come to be true, I'm for it. I think it's dope. The other thing is we got a new trailer for the Continental set in the John Wick universe. It looks like a period piece about how the Continental was started. What'd you guys think?
It looks cool. I mean, speaking of like actors who are kind of unknown, at least to us at the moment, the guy who's playing young Winston, I haven't really seen him in anything before.
Okay.
At least me in particular. Maybe I gotta really dive into him. But it looks like a cool show set in the 1970s. We saw Mel Gibson in it, so that's like a big name.
He looks like the villain too, which is fitting.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, granted, it seems like he's kind of revealed himself to be like a really wacky type of dude. But I always liked his acting though. So totally. I'm sure he'll still be great in it.
I mean, he's joined the ranks of Nicolas Cage, of John Travolta now. They kind of all seem to be pretty eccentric in their old age with all of their millions and millions and millions. So why not make him some weirdo villain?
Yeah, who's probably rich in this as well. So
I mean, you have to be rich if you want to fight John Wick, or else what are you doing?
Yeah, it's Young Wick.
Yeah. Young Wick.
Right.
Young Wick, such a great rap name, dog. Young Wick.
Dude, true. Dude. Yeah, that is a sick rap name. Somebody
shoots on the mic.
Yeah, give us credit if you take that. But yeah, it looks like a fun period piece. I like that they have to kind of retake the Continental to set it up, and they have to fight their way through it. That one, I think, was a John Wick 2 where they have to battle him and that black guy who was the attendant for it. And they keep going in and getting more guns, and they have to fight in the lot. That was so sick. So seeing more of it, more battles in the Continental, I'm super about it.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah,
there was some images in the trailer that looked like it was like before times, like in the olden days, like before the 70s.
Oh,
so I was curious. I was like, is that just a thing that they would show based on the fact of like the history of, this League of Assassins, or if it was just meant to backstory on maybe a character. So that kind of interested me. Or I just saw things that I didn't really see. I don't know.
I mean, because it's going to be like a 3-part series, right? Or something. I think that's what it said in the commercial.
I think on Peacock, too.
Peacock, yeah. So it's going to be longer than the 2-hour run. So it's probably obviously going to focus on like young Winston and maybe a particular thing he's dealing with at the time. But it would be a good opportunity. What's that?
It looks like he has a brother, and there's like some type of brother story there.
Oh, okay. But it would be a good opportunity to dive into like even further back, like because the Continental looks like it's already established. Yeah. Maybe a little more Wild West at this time, but
Wiki Wow,
Wiki Wow Wild West. But and then maybe they talk about like the beginning of it. That'd be cool. Them building it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm on board. I love John Wick, super about it. And just that time period and everything with the music and the action, it looks sick. Last thing, Barbie has hit a billy.
I'm a Barbie girl.
One billy.
There you go. Yeah, man. Such a good movie. I'm so happy that it's being received as well as it is. There is a lot of incel, insecure dudes online that are bashing it. That's my take on it. I think if you have a small PP syndrome, you can't handle the jokes. But I thought it was
body shame, man. Don't body shame.
Hey, I'm not body. Hey, if you, but if you, I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about if you have small PP energy. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, what is that? Like LD? If you got LD, I can understand why you may not like it. I loved it. I thought it was great. Me and Christina really dug it. I want to go see it again. But yeah, any thoughts on Barbie hitting $1 billion?
Good to hear.
Good to hear. Yeah. It's a good precedent to set, I think, for filmmaking in the industry. And also, too, it kind of helps with the defeat of the U.S. women's national team in the round of 16.
You had to sneak that in there, huh? You were just about that women's national team right now. Yeah, for those of you unaware, we're talking about soccer.
Yes, and we're cheering for Japan because we're all Japanese.
Hey-o.
Yeah.
So, but to get back to the point of... I really don't remember what the point was.
You just wanted to sneak that in there, and then
just wanted to sneak that in there.
Am I right?
Nothing after that.
Yeah.
No, but it's a fun movie. I really enjoyed a lot about it. The jokes landed for me. The meta aspects of it, I thought, were really well done.
Yeah. Costumes were great.
Costuming was great. The whole theme and concepts of it, I thought, were really well done. Margot Robbie gets a shine in so many levels too, and
for real,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and actually, you just got to watch it recently, right, Drake? What was your thoughts on Barbie as a whole?
Margot, well, in specific, Margot's acting, she was able to show range in the entirety of the movie.
Agreed.
Which you don't normally get to do when you're doing like a AAA movie like that. But I could see where males, and I put that in like quotes, would get super upset about certain things just because it pushes up against the idea of men being in that position. It kind of unveiled like how men aren't necessarily as able to be vulnerable, right? When they are, they're viewed a certain way. And with the women, decidedly on kind of pushing Ken away, we don't need men in our lives. We can do kind of everything for ourselves and still be prosperous. Like that kind of thing you want to be seeing, because that's the kind of environment you want your daughters to grow up in, thinking that they can do those things, right? So there's a lot of pros to that movie. I can see where people would get like, ooh, but that's only because it's in the politics of the current, and everybody's kind of really quick to pick a side and stick to it when there's, I think, a little bit more important things to worry about. But
I agree. I mean, my thing coming out of it is like, why does this is supposed to be entertainment and escapism? Why does all of these things have to be politically? like I don't care. I don't care about the politics. Do I like the movie? Did I think it was funny? Did I enjoy the acting? Did I enjoy the story? Those are the things I think I care about the most. I don't really give a shit about the politics of it all. I just liked it because I liked it, you know? And and there's a lot of aspects in it too where it was like, hey, listen, you know, it's okay to be a man, but you don't have to feel like you can't show emotions, or you can't, you know, let somebody else take the lead for a change. You know, it was like, those are things that it's also nice for us too. You know, we don't always, as men, I should say, you know, it might be different from a woman's perspective, but it's like, me personally, I don't want to feel like I have to make every single decision and that there's so much pressure. You know, like sometimes it's, you know, letting go of my ego enough to say, hey, some woman can step in, make a decision, she can be in charge, and, you know, that doesn't diminish me as a man. I think is a great theme, but that's just how I feel about it. Scott, you haven't been able to watch Barbie yet, right?
No, I haven't, but I've only heard good things about it, and it's kind of funny hearing you guys mention those things. It's always funny, like, when people feel like they need to, like, man, I went in to have a good time, and they're trying to change the way I think, or, you know, it's like, it's like a self-attack, like they knew you'd be there, like, talk to your dad, you know, or something. It's just, like, so ridiculous, like, it's whatever. I also grew up in a household where, mostly raised by my mom, and then a lot of like just strong women in my household. So like I got no problem with like being around strong women. So I got no real ego there. But I don't get that whole thing. But I am excited to watch it. It's exciting that it's made that much money thus far, and especially for Margot Robbie, like leading this project and like working hard to make it happen. I know she was like really pushing for Harley Quinn in that same way to like, you know, be her thing and make it more than just like what people think it might be. And I feel like that didn't go as far as this did. And
this shouldn't be a hot take, but I liked Birds of Prey. Like I didn't mind it. Like I know the internet hates it, but I'm like, I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was that bad.
My take is I liked her in Birds of Prey.
Yeah, agree with that statement.
I also like Black Canary, but it's because I like Journey Smollett. Like, is that right? Yeah, I think that's what it is.
There was just like if we go real quick in that, there was just a mix of like not as strong actors and like really strong actors. She shined in that, which was really great. I loved everything that she did in that movie. So I mean, it's good. It's everything she's been in. I feel like has been really strong, and it's awesome to hear that the whole cast was able to pull their weight as well. So I'm definitely excited to watch it.
Yeah, man. And there was a lot of rumors, or not rumors, but just like things going on online. The narrative was movies are dead, no one's going there, and then boom, back to back in the same week, Barbenheimer, both movies explode. And
that's
like,
so crazy.
Yeah, unintended.
Usually
like,
one suffers.
Right. And it's like good to show that, you know, a good movie the same weekend, even, you know, not genre depending, can still work, but be a good movie. So that was I thought that was very positive, man. That was like, all right, cool. Like, people are interested, but you got to make good shit. You can't just throw whatever out there and expect us to just love it. You know, it's not going to be that. So
you can't rely on the property and then just half-ass a script or something.
Exactly.
It's all got to be good.
Exactly. Drake, what did you feel about Ryan Gosling's Ken? Or how did you feel about it?
I liked it. He was definitely broody, but I felt his pain. Like all he wanted to do was be with that chick, you know? And that chick is just all about herself, which is completely fine, but you're bumming out, right? It's sad. You just want to be all up in it, you know? You want to stay over the night.
But you say all up in it, but they're like, we don't have those parts.
Exactly. But you start by dry humping, so I've heard. And I think
sure do.
I can't tell if this is in the movie or just like your own.
You gotta find out. You gotta go watch it,
Scott. You gotta go watch it.
You got the pink cup. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I showed. It's funny. So Christine and I haven't seen it yet, but you know, with these movies coming out now, sometimes they have cool merch that come along with it. And the Barbie cup came out, and she saw it. She's like, I gotta get this cup. And we were looking at our schedule. We weren't able to kind of line up when to go see it, but she just kind of went off on her own to the movie theater just to buy the cup and then
go
really?
back. Yeah. Where is it? What does it look like again?
I don't have it physically here because it's going to be her like
we'll
it's at
post
work
it to the
now.
story.
It's her water
Yeah. Send us a picture. We'll post it to our Instagram. But yeah, dude, the merch for Barbie, I'm not gonna lie, has been sick. Like they've dropped some shoes for it. I'm not gonna lie, there's a hoodie that Ken wears in the movie. It's like a tie-dye hoodie, and it says "I'm Ken Nuff." Like enough, but with a K.
No, I saw that shit. I fucking want that so bad.
I got it. It's coming.
You got that shit?
I bought it. Yeah, it's in the mail. So I was like, that
sounds awesome. I don't even know what it looks like.
Oh
but
my god,
so fucking funny.
Also, one day, Scott, you'll be invited to the what is it? I totally had it in my brain and I just botched it. The Casa Dojo House.
Oh, Casa Dojo House. Yeah, dude.
What is that? What it is? Dang it! Now we totally botched it, man.
It's the Dojo Casa. Yeah, the Dojo Casa House.
Something like that. I think we're missing a word, but man, so funny. There's a part
Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Mojo Dojo Casa House. Just Mojo Dojo being back in the zeitgeist makes me so happy.
Kenergy. Oh my god.
Yeah, big Kenergy in the movie.
Oh, they're filled with stereotypically broy things. Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. They're super into horses.
Yeah, dude, the show is so funny.
Yeah, they're like just random sports on. He had like saloon doors put on the Barbie house for no reason. It's just hilarious shit like that. Hummers funny. Everywhere. So yeah, there was some funny shit in that movie. And I'd say if you go in with an open mind, you'll take something away from it. Like you should enjoy it. If you feel personally attacked, I think personally you should look at the mirror and see what it is about that is bothering you. Because there's a lot of shit in it that made me laugh. But for sure, that's my 2 cents. Scott, you got to see something very cool, and you got to see it in the way Christopher Nolan
intended to?
Yes, intended to.
Yeah.
The 11-mile long, 70 millimeter IMAX showing of Oppenheimer. Dude, tell us about Oppenheimer.
In Missouri.
Yeah, in Missouri. It was good. It was good to be able to go and see like just a good, serious film. I love a good drama, but honestly, it's been a while since I've been to the theaters to watch one. We're all nerds and we check out the latest Marvel, DC, what have you movies. And if usually I have to pick, and I usually end up leaning that way. But Oppenheimer, it was like so awesome to see in theaters. I think one thing above all else that like really just kind of stood out extra was the utilization of sound that Christopher Nolan does. I felt like it was really smart because like I know he's a really big advocate for like keeping the movie theaters alive, which I am too. You know, like he's like, people need to experience movies in a theater, and like, what better way to do that than to be like, you know what, I'm gonna make the experience like so good that it'll be less of an experience if you watch it at home. Like you can watch it at home, but it's not gonna be the best,
right?
Because when that bomb goes off, really interesting because you think the sound's gonna happen right away, which is a little jarring at first, but then when you finally get that sound, like. I was like, I didn't know the speakers went that loud in these theaters. Like, It was amazing. And, like, seeing it on a big IMAX, we don't really have one in Hawaii. It was cool to be in one again. I felt like that was the way to do it. So good, that movie. And the actors are amazing. And, like, the 3 hours blew by. Like,
see what you did there.
Yeah.
Heyo.
Yeah. Ooh, radiation. But the only thing was I'm so spoiled with those reclining seats now.
Yeah.
Like the IMAXs still have the regular stadium style seats, like more comfortable, but
that's true.
Stadium style. And like after I found myself like shifting a lot.
Yeah. It's like going to a professional game. Like those seats are not comfortable, but you do it because it's part of the experience. But 100%, I thought the same thing with Oppenheimer. But everybody has their time to shine in it too, which is awesome. Like even if they have the smallest of roles, it feels like they contribute to the movie. And I'm thinking of like, what's his name? Josh Peck. From Drake and Josh. Yeah. Jack Quaid is in it for like a split second. But Matt Damon really doesn't have that much time, but what he adds to the movie is massive.
Was it Rami Malek is in it too, right?
Oh, yeah, Rami Malek. Yeah.
Rami Malek. And Josh Hartnett, I was like, Josh is in it. Like,
I'm so
I just saw him in Black Mirror.
Josh Hartnett
sick.
again. Yes, exactly. I was thinking of the Black Mirror too. But man, he just does such a good job, and it just we obviously still have Steven Spielberg, but I would say in this generation, within the last 15 years, I would say Christopher Nolan is one of those directors that everything he touches seems to be pretty damn good. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Like, even for people who didn't really love Tenet, like I went back, I've watched Tenet 3 times just to try to figure out all the concepts. And once it clicks for you, you're like, holy shit, this is incredible. The level of detail, the thought that he puts into it, you're like, fuck, man, how could you think of something like that? So just a legendary director in his own right, but the thought process that goes into the movies and the writing is so crazy, man. So and I'm so happy Cillian Murphy gets to be the lead in this and gets to like finally take a lead in a Christopher Nolan movie. I think he's well more deserved. He's deserved it for a long time and just hasn't had that opportunity, I feel like, and it's just awesome that he's killed it, because he's awesome in Peaky Blinders. I mean, he's really awesome in a lot of things, but he's so good.
It was nice, especially when you're
Vincent D'Onofrio. Call back.
Heyo.
When he's sharing the screen a lot with like Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Robert Downey Jr. These are all people that you've seen more so take like the leads in maybe the movies you've seen in the last maybe 10 years or something. Yeah. How do you say his name?
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
I loved him in Scarecrow, and then Peaky Blinders, he was great. But like other than that, like I know he's a great actor. Maybe I wasn't looking hard enough. I haven't seen him in a lot of things. So it was cool to see him as a lead next to all these like crazy actors that could very well have been that, the lead there. But also it was nice to see I don't know how to say his name correctly, his last name, but Matthias Schweighöfer or whatever. He was Heisenberg. I probably just
does he like so botched? I don't even know what you were trying to say.
Just like glance over the fact that you murdered his name.
At least I prefaced it.
I wish
you're like, or whatever.
I'm considering looping this in the audio version just how bad.
Let's skip over Gary Oldman was in this.
Yeah.
Oh my god! So
but okay, the guy played Heisenberg. Remember he was in that. Look it up. He's great.
Yeah.
Sick, dude.
I don't even know who he was in the movie.
How do you say his name? Look it up.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna trust you on that one.
Oh gosh. Okay. In the chat.
Oh man, good shit.
It's so crazy.
Can you say Robert Downey Jr.? Because what did you think about him?
Oh yeah, he was great. Robert Downey Jr.
Wow, this thing that this got off the rails, man.
God, your laughter made me laugh harder, and it's just contagious laughter. Oh God!
Yeah, man, this is what happens when we take 2 weeks off altogether.
I know, guys. Go watch Oppenheimer. It's hilarious.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah, he really surprised me in it. I didn't think Robert Downey Jr. I just haven't seen him in this role. I feel like maybe in a while. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of Robert Downey Jr., but just in a different way. And I'm so happy that he's a part of a movie at this level, so you can really see his range. I mean, he obviously killed it as Iron Man. He'll always be Iron Man to me. I thought he was incredible in Endgame too, but yeah, this was it was like the same but different, and it really works in it. So yeah, that was so good. It's one of the, but yeah, to your point earlier, I feel like this is one of those movies where you have to watch it at least once in theaters And then if you don't watch it again in theater, like you don't go back again, it's fine. But I think you need to experience the first time in theaters, and then you can watch it at home, and then just kind of remember the feeling you get from watching it there the first time, because you're so right. The sound is used so incredibly well, and the score, and just some of the shots when you get to take it in at that level and that scope, it feels so much more impactful. But yeah, man. Oh, go. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it in theaters. Both of them, I think. Barbie and Oppenheimer. But Oppenheimer for sure. At least one time in theaters. Yeah. Drake, what are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for... I don't know what I'm waiting for. Probably some time off of work, and then I can go watch it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm super excited to go eat some popcorn, sit down in a recliner, and...
Oh yeah, I might have been the only person with Mochi Crunch in that theater. So
so
hell yeah,
making some crunchy crunchies.
They don't sell that in the theater in Missouri. Weird.
They do not.
Super weird.
All right, we're moving on to. We kind of touched on a little bit on some Disney stuff. Haunted Mansion. This movie has an outstanding cast. Lakeith Stanfield, I think. Rosario Dawson. Owen Wilson, I think, is in it. Those are just some of the ones I know off the top of my head, but it does not seem to be performing in the box office like Barbie and Oppenheimer is. Scott, why don't you tell us what you thought about Haunted Mansion?
Yeah, so before going in, I kind of brushed over those or saw those reviews and it's not doing too well, so I wasn't expecting too much out of it. But I actually really enjoyed it. Like, it's a movie about a ride, so. It's like how they do the Pirates of the Caribbean off the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Granted, Pirates of the Caribbean had the whole pirate lore to work with, right? So it's like a real big world they can work with. They're kind of stuck to this like mansion, but I feel like they did a really good job. I found it pretty funny. All the actors were great. It was nice seeing Owen Wilson being like, that classic Owen Wilson, like throws in those like one-liners in there. I think he's funny, so I'm laughing at him. Lakeith Stanfield had some funny moments too. Like he's a dramatic actor, and a lot of moments like he was pulling that out. I feel like he was a great lead. There were moments where he was tapping into like his tragic story and like what he's going through, and he's like able to pull those tears, and you're like, oh fuck, I feel for him. But there's a moment in this movie that's so funny. The little kid was playing with these action figures that kind of look like. Maybe like kind of like Marvel characters in a sense, like it was like his superheroes, and he's like, "Oh, do you have Action Guy?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Action Guy, Action Guy." He's like, "I don't know what that is," and he's like, he holds a slipper or like a boot or something, and he's like, "Say it again, boy!" Like he like does that, and then like, dude, I started laughing so hard. I did not expect him to do that. And he's like, "Oh, you don't know? Oh, okay," and then just kind of brush over it. I was like, that was a funny thing to put in the movie. But there was a lot of cool nods to the ride, like. There's certain moments where like the chair was almost like the chair you sit in on the ride, like all the paintings
like the
that were in there.
carriage kind of chair looking thing.
Yeah, there's a moment where like the character gets like the house is kind of shooting them out of the house on that chair, and I'm like, oh, this is just like the ride. You're like going on a
Did they have the dancing ghosts? Like where all the ghosts kind of
they had all that. They had the organ
dance.
And then Jared Leto played the. You don't really know it's him, but he's the voice of the. What is he? He's like the headless. What was his actual title? He's like the main villain in this. But
Jared Leto! Wow, did not know he was in the movie.
Is his name Morbius or?
Yeah, no, but he's like this ghost with like his head in a lantern sort of thing. But he's like the main bad ghost in it. But it's like that's taken from the ride. I believe that's the dude in the ride. It's like, I think he even says it in the movie, like you'll be back. And then there's even the ghosts at the end of the ride, the ghosts that are in the carriage with you, whatever, in the little things. If you enter the house and you try and leave, a ghost will go with you and haunt you until you come back to the house. They'll like haunt you and they'll tell you like go back to the house. So like once you're there, you can't leave. So that's why like by the time what is it? The Lakeith Stanfield's character comes in, like Owen Wilson is already there. Like so everyone who enters, they're like kind of just stuck there and they all like live in the living room. Oh, and then freaking Danny DeVito's in this, and he's very much like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Danny DeVito. Like he's just like this kooky old guy, and it's hilarious. So there were enough of those moments that were really fun and hilarious, and then enough nods to the ride. very creative. I thought it was good. I mean, it's not like super amazing, but like for what it was based off of and like the story they were able to tell in it, I thought it was really good. And it should be able to come out and streaming around Halloween time. So that'd be the perfect time to. Yeah, maybe. But I think it's only like a six week window or something, right? Disney Plus.
Yeah, I think so.
Right around fall-ish, you'll be able to catch it on Disney Plus. If you've got kids and stuff, I definitely recommend going with them. I think they'd have a good time because there's even jokes for you to enjoy as an adult.
Yeah. Is it PG or is it PG-13?
It is PG-13.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Nice. Yeah, it's cool. It's good to know that it's better than what the internet is saying or like the reviews have been on it. I'll be honest, like I didn't have like a ton of motivation to go see it in theaters. But I was like, oh, okay, when that comes out on Disney Plus, definitely watching it. And that's probably why the whole Disney Plus model is like really kind of hurting Disney in general, along with strikes and everything else. But yeah, it looked fun, and the cast sounds amazing. You kind of sold me on it, though. I mean, what would you rate it?
I think it's like a 7.
Okay. Out of 100?
7. Out of 100? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not 1,000. It sucked. No, but for a family movie, it was like 7.5. It's a family film. It's nice. Yeah, you can. I'm sure. Like, it's way better than Morbius. I know we keep coming back to that. Like, it's
the bar is real low with Morbius.
Morbius really let me down. It was like watching. Yeah, that movie came out from like a different time. Yeah, it was just like it was so bad.
It was like watching Daredevil or something.
The time
with
of
Ben
Vampires.
Affleck.
Yeah, it was like that back then. It was good, but they're like new Daredevil. And
do you think Morbius was better than the Electro movie?
I don't even remember the Electro movie.
Yeah.
So I'm saying yes.
I'm saying yeah because I don't remember.
Wow. I remember that came out, but I do not remember that at all.
I don't even know if I watched it.
She's gonna reprise her role as
she is
Elektra.
Yep, in Deadpool, out of all places too, which is super kind of random.
That's
I wonder
very
if we get Ben Affleck. Probably not. I would say not till Secret Wars or Secret Wars. Don't get me started on Secret Invasion. But yeah, that should be interesting. That was Haunted Mansion though. Yeah, sounds pretty good. I'll have to check it out. So last thing, this movie actually seems to be doing very well though. And I was in from the get-go listening to Seth Rogen talk about it. Having the kids all be in the same recording studio and having them be kids and seeing the way they interacted with each other, I thought was a refreshing take on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've always been a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. From, I want to say, the cartoons to the original live action movies, which are still really freaking good. If you haven't, go back and watch those, which was an indie film back in the day. I don't know, a little weird tidbit fact. But what did you think about this new iteration, Seth Rogen's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, Scott?
I really loved it. Like, I thought it was fucking good.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like the initial reaction we got from watching the trailer when it first came out, like the movie lived up to that for me. The art is super amazing. There's not like, it seems like they took like that Into the Spider-Verse, like being able to like just kind of go for it with the art and like, you know, whatever. It's like this movie definitely has its own style. It really does feel like it's more hand-drawn because like even the cars and the shapes of people aren't like exactly like the way it should be. Like there's like a van driving and like the top is like a little tilted this way and whatnot. So it's like very like artistic.
Stylized.
The kids were great. They're actually teenagers like you were saying, which is good. And it all really came through that way. The music was awesome. It's like the transition music gave me like those 80s, like, you know, like Stranger Things, ominous, like more like that synthesizer kind of music. But then it's also filled with like 90s hip hop. And then there's also like all these references to like current day. Like these kids are like current teenagers. So they're referencing things that are viral now.
They sing a lot of
on the internet. What's that?
Mid and hip and say less kind of Gen X,
kind
Gen
of like
Z lingo.
They weren't doing like weird like I know there's some weird Gen Z lingo now, but there were just certain nods. Like there was one like what is it? There was one that Daniel didn't know, but I knew. Daniel's my younger brother, but there's I guess this guy in New York where you can order like a sandwich a particular way, and you'd say it like the Aki way. And they're like, oh, let me get it this. And he's like, yeah. And like, so there was a part where they're like, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese. Let me get it. And they're like, don't forget the Bev, never, never. And I'm like, oh, that's from that video. Like, there's this dude that does that. So there's a bunch of little references like that in it. And like, if you know, you know. And then if not, it's still like, it seems like you're watching a bunch of teenagers like referencing things you don't know what they're talking about. You know, so it's very much like that. They change a little things with the origin. Like the bad guy, like Superfly is not, what's his name, who ends in the comics, who turns into the Fly. I forget his name.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to look it up
right now. Baxter Stocksman. So he's played by Giancarlo
Giancarlo Esposito?
Yeah. So he's a voice for Baxter Stockman.
You didn't want to mess up that name too.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna. Yeah, we gotta get moving. I'm not gonna
just Scott, the name slaughterer.
I was like, here we go again. But in the comics and like in the video games and stuff, like he's the one who turns into like the Fly guy. But in this one, he creates the ooze, and he had already turned a fly into like a mutant sort of thing, and he was like growing other creatures like Bebop, Rocksteady. What is it, like the Paul Rudd plays one of the characters. He's the Mondo Gecko, Ray Fillet. Like they have this whole like array of like mutants that's led by Superfly, who's voiced by Ice Cube. That totally fits. He's like this giant Superfly dude that's cool. Yeah. And like when every time he comes out, that song's like, you know I'm Superfly, you know I'm Superfly, and I'm like, oh, this works.
Nice.
But the origin of like Splinter teaching them is different than what we're used to. I'll just let you experience that. But he's voiced by Jackie Chan, which I'm like, oh, that's cool. Because like we grew up knowing he's like an awesome martial artist, so it just makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Absolute legend. Yeah.
Yeah. And then April O'Neil's a little younger, but all the little changes were great. There's a lot of like, there's a bunch of Easter eggs in it, which I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch to catch them all. But the ones I caught were really cool. Very unique. Story, and it's called Mutant Mayhem, and there's a lot of Mutant Mayhem in it, which is pretty awesome. Nice. I feel like this movie lived up to it for me. I loved it. I think you guys are gonna really love it too.
Hell yeah,
I want to watch it.
Yeah, I do. I mean, again, massive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan for the longest time. By all accounts, like what they were doing with the marketing, the interviews I've seen on it, like it all looked really, really good. It's been an incredible year for animation, but it did make me think, which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle was your favorite? And we'll start with Drake.
It was Donatello. I enjoyed me. I liked the... No, wait. Donatello? No, wait. Donatello's the blue one, right?
Purple?
Oh, no, the purple one?
God damn it, Drake.
Jake, sorry. You don't even know the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay, next.
No, I like the purple one. I like the purple one because I like the bow staff and I liked how he used technology and how he was smart. That's what I liked about the purple guy, okay? Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Blue is Leo.
Okay, thank you.
I was a Mikey, always. Michelangelo.
Pizza Man.
He's just so goofy, free going. Love him.
Nice. I love all the turtles, but I think I've always been split between Leonardo and Raphael. There's that like, okay, I'm gonna do the right thing, I'm gonna, take charge, do that, and then there's also like, but I'm pretty angry. And I just kind of want to like lash out and do shit. So I think
you're the Ronin.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I've been torn between those two. Definitely curious to hear what other people out there, who their favorite turtle is. If you want, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or comment on YouTube. Tell us who your favorite turtle is. We'll hit you back. And maybe we'll get you on and you could talk about your experience with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, if you've watched it as well. Hell yeah, man. I'm super sold on it. It looks so good. I've seen, like I said, so many interviews. And Seth Rogen, everything that guy touches recently too has seemed to be gold. He's been doing Invincible. He did Platonic on Apple TV. He has been doing this Mutant Mayhem.
Yeah, man. And he even did a Preacher. It was on TBS. I think. It was another comic book.
Yeah, he seems to be a massive comic book fan. So I'm
which is
all
cool
because
it feels like the people behind this movie were really all about like let's throw all the like everything I love about comics. Let's make sure we fit everything in there. Like like it was just like it seemed like a lot of love went into it, and more love than a cash grab, which was great.
Nice, hell yeah, man!
And he plays he's a voice for Bebop.
Perfect.
The Warthog, which is funny because he did Pumbaa. So it's like
I'm like, did they make him look like Pumbaa?
No, he looks like Bebop, but it's totally Seth Rogen's voice.
Nice.
Just,
Why does that always work? Why does it work? Jesus. Okay, he was in Mario. That crushed it. Also, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just a solid year, I want to say, for animation. Like 2023 has been between Across the Spider-Verse, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mario, Nimona, I thought was fantastic. Fuck, man, animation's been killing it this year. So much good stuff. I don't know. I think that's kind of it on my end. Anything else you guys want to say for this episode?
Nah, dude. Just if you have any family on Maui, reach out to them. There's tons of videos. The devastation's real. So, always tip your local firefighter. Only you can prevent forest fires, all that jazz.
Yep.
Well said. Scotty.
Everything you guys said, and, keep in touch with your family, Yeah.
Definitely. Yep. Hear that. Yeah. Good words to live by. And then the last thing I want from Scott is to say that name of Heisenberg from...
Okay, let's go for it again.
Let's go.
Okay,
here's redemption time.
Matthias. Okay.
Yeah, Mathais. So we're
working with SCHWEIGHO.
Off to a decent start.
So, Schweihofer.
Oh,
fuck, dude. I'm gonna Google
all right. Thanks for sticking in with us.
Moving on.
The Joystick Show.
If you've enjoyed what you've been listening to, we'd really appreciate a follow, subscribe, and a review. Just how we like chatting with our friends, please share this with yours. Feel free to join the squad and follow us at JoyStickShow Joystick Show on Twitter and Instagram, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you feel like submitting topics or questions to be discussed on future episodes, you can email us at joystick.show@gmail.com. As always, thank you, peace out, and make it a great rest of your week.